Hi guys, it's Katie. Today's video is going to be a freezer cooking video. I'm going to share with you 4 dark meat chicken freezer meal ideas. This would be using chicken legs or chicken thighs or chicken quarters. I'm using bone-in chicken, but you could also use like boneless, skinless thighs, whatever you prefer. I also have a chicken breast freezer meal idea video and a ground beef freezer meal idea already on my channel, so I will link those down below if you haven't seen them. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. In those previous videos, everything was fully or mostly cooked. This time, I am just going to be combining raw ingredients, and they'll cook on the day that we eat them. So if you're familiar with freezer cooking, you've probably seen this: a big Ziploc bag, put the raw chicken, put the seasoning, put the sauce, put the vegetables, and then the day that you cook it, you dump it all in your crock pot and walk away. My recipes can be used in that way, but they're a little bit different. For the first thing is I keep my protein, my chicken meat, separate from all the other ingredients. I do that for a few reasons. One, I already have my chicken packed up in the freezer, or if you haven't bought the chicken and you're waiting for it to go on sale, you could still make these sauce recipes. Number 2 is I don't like to combine ingredients that are highly acidic with raw meat. So anything that has citrus juice or pineapple juice or vinegar, if it sits too long on raw meat, it can cause the raw meat to get kind of rubbery and tough. So I just like them to be combined just when they're cooking, not when they're freezing and thawing and sitting in the freezer. And the third reason is because a lot of these sauces can be used on multiple proteins. So you can use them on chicken pieces, you can use them on chunked up pieces of pork shoulder, you could use them on meatballs. There's a lot of different variations. So the sauce and the protein are separate. So today I'm just going to show you how to make the sauces, and then you can pack them up and have those in the freezer, and then whenever you decide what protein you want, you just combine them. And again, you can dump them in the crock pot and leave them. I'm most probably going to use a pressure cooker. So if you have a pressure cooker or an Instant Pot, these recipes would work perfectly for that as well. If you don't have either of those, you can also just dump them into a baking dish, cover them tightly with foil, and bake them in the oven. And any kind of braising environment that you have will work for this. As far as how long to cook these recipes, it will depend on the kind of meat that you have and how you're going to cook it. So I would just look in your owner's manual for your crock pot or for your pressure cooker and just get cooking times for bone-in chicken thighs or for boneless chicken thighs, and then use that as the cooking time. So I'm going to show you 4 recipes, and I will also link in the description the original recipes where I'm basing these ideas from, so you can see the original recipe. So the first recipe is chili verde. This is made with tomatillos and cilantro, garlic, some onion, jalapeno, and a little bit of cumin. This is really good on chicken pieces as well as chunks of pork. And this is one of the easiest to put together. You just throw everything in the blender and blend it till smooth. I got about a quart per recipe, and my recipes are going to be probably 8 to 10 pieces of chicken. So that would be plenty of sauce for 8 to 10 chicken pieces, or you could cut it in half if you just need like 4 or 5 pieces of chicken. The chili verde is really good served over either rice or boiled potatoes. So you can either boil your potatoes separately or just throw them in the crock pot for the last hour or in your pressure cooker for the last 5 to 7 minutes. The next recipe is pineapple teriyaki. I looked all over the internet for a sweet and sour sauce or a teriyaki sauce or like a Hawaiian pineapple chicken sauce that didn't have a ton of extra sugar. Similar recipes to this have up to 2 cups of brown sugar, and for me that just seems like way too much. This recipe just has a 1/4 cup of sugar. I feel okay about that, but if you want to adjust the sugar, that's up to you. In this recipe is some soy sauce and some pineapple chunks with the pineapple juice. I also added some red onion, sliced red onion, which isn't in the original recipe and it would be optional, but I think that it would be a good addition. This recipe would be really good served over rice, so I would just make rice the day that I'm going to have it and spoon this chicken and sauce mixture over some rice. The third recipe is Filipino Adobo Chicken, and this is something that my family loves. I make it ahead of time and have it in the freezer very often. It comes together really quickly, and this sauce is made from soy sauce, white vinegar, some garlic, ginger, black peppercorns, and bay leaf. Something you need to know about this sauce is it won't freeze solid. I don't know if it's the amount of salt in the soy sauce or the vinegar or what, but it will still be kind of slushy and liquidy even after being in the freezer for a few days. But I keep it in the freezer just so that it's preserved for longer term. And then when I want to use it, I'll just pour it over the chicken pieces and again cook it in your crock pot, your oven, or in your pressure cooker. Once this is cooked, it's really delicious spooned over white rice. The next recipe is an Indian curry sauce. The next recipe is an Indian curry simmer sauce. This has all sorts of warm spices and tomatoes, and it calls for spinach. I ended up using some baby kale out of my garden, and mine was fresh, so what I did is I just poured some boiling water to blanch it down a little bit so that it would fit better into my container. But if you used frozen spinach, you could throw it right in and have it all cooked together. This again is a recipe that you would add some diced potatoes in the last few minutes. Again, I'm not a fan of freezing potatoes, even though I see them in a lot of freezer cooking recipes. So I would add them fresh since potatoes last quite a long time in my pantry, and it's something that I always have on hand. But if you wanted to, you could parboil some potatoes and add them right in with your recipe as well. And then you would serve this over rice. You could also serve it with some like Indian flatbread. So anyway, those are my dark meat chicken freezer meal ideas. I hope you found something useful, something you can use in your home with your family. If you enjoyed my video, I would appreciate if you could give my video a thumbs up to let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching.